Vic, I had two questions for you. The first being Bradley Chubb. How did he come through yesterday's practice, and how much do you expect him to do today?
He came through yesterday's practice very good. He looked better. And just as importantly, he woke up feeling better, too, than he had been. So that's always critical, too. We're expecting – today's a shorter practice, but, we're going to give him some good work and see how he progresses.
And then
what was the other one?
Second question was, what was your level of interest in Clay Matthews, and were you just reaching out to gauge interest, or were you actually seeking to bring him in?
Well, John and the guys were, have been looking at possibilities out there, and I'm sure Clay was one of them. I don't know exactly where all that stands or where it went or what happened. I really don't. I just know what that was put out there today that, he's not ready to play yet. So, but I don't know any of the details.
Are you still sort of, is your understanding you're still looking to bring someone in?
Well, we're always looking, and especially our numbers are low there right now at that position. So, yeah, we're looking, but we're not going to do something just for the sake of doing something.
Next one, Arnie.
Hey, Vic, I know we've talked about him before, but being that this is the opener against Tennessee, we're all talking about Jurrell Casey, and I'm just wondering if you could kind of compare. A year ago you're preparing to face him, and now you've got him on your side. What did you like about him just in your career as you've seen him play for the Tennessee Titans?
He's been a productive player throughout his career. Makes plays. He plays with good savvy. He's a smart player. He's been a good anchor in there versus the run, yet flashes athletic movement when it comes to those types of plays where you need it. So he's had a great career, and so we were happy to get him, and we think he's still got some more left in him, too, to play at that high level.
Michael Spencer, go ahead.
Hey, Vic, at this point last year, Alexander Johnson was a special teams guy for you guys, and now he's your starting inside linebacker. What's impressed you the most about his journey over the last year to where he is now?
Well, he's just, for a guy that had as much time off from football as he did through the predicament he was in, he's come back quick, and he was slow to pick it up, the new system and stuff that we put on him last year. But, by the fifth game last year, we thought it was time to put him in there. And he's just gotten better and better every week. Last year was slowed by a knee injury that he played with last year towards the end. And he's picked it up in this camp and really progressed and improved in his understanding of his jobs and playing them faster, which for a guy with his ability just makes him even a better player.
Next up, Eric Dalala.
Yeah, Coach, two quick ones for you. First, do you know where Pat Shurmur and Ed Donatel will be during the game? Will they be in the box or down on the field?
They'll both be on the field.
And then with Courtland Sutton, where do you think he has the biggest room to grow this year in year three? I know you've talked about how some guys take a big step between year two and year three.
I just think in every area he can get a little bit better at, being a little crisper with his routes, being a little more decisive and recognizing coverages and making any adjustments that we need him to make on particular plays, and just continue to improve. I don't think he has a glaring weakness that he overly needs to improve on, but all the little things will make a big difference for him.
Andrew Mason, go ahead.
Vic, given the limitations of the offseason and camp, in the end, how much of the offensive and defensive schemes were you able to install compared with a normal year?
Well, I think we were able to install most of what we wanted to get installed. We just haven't maybe been able to rep it as much as you would like or as much as you're accustomed to in a normal year, with a full off season and a full training camp. But we've installed most everything we feel we need, and but maybe not with the amount of reps that you like.
Next up, Ron Howard.
Hey, Vic, got two for you. First one, Michael Ujimudie. How has he looked coming back from that quad injury in the last week or so?
Better. He's gotten better every day. You know, we slowly progressed him from rehab on the side to individual to a few plays in practice to where, you know, he's up to taking a normal allotment of practice snaps now, I believe. So he has improved. It's been steady and nice. He hadn't had any hadn't hit any potholes along the way, and like where he's progressing physically.
Second one, Tennessee had the best red zone offense in the league last year. Obviously, they got Henry, but what stands out on tape about what Tannehill does in the red zone as well?
Well, they do a great job running the ball down there, which most teams that are successful in the red zone can do. And, you know, and with the threat of that running game, it just opens up the passes when they choose to call them down there. And Tannehill does a good job of understanding how the red zone works and where the ball has to go in tight when the field is tightened up like that. And so they're really hard to defend down there because of they're good at running it down there, and then the rest of their stuff plays off of that.
Guys, time for a few more. Next up, Eric Goodman.
Vic, because of the lack of scouting with no preseason, how much, if at all, have you talked to Jurrell Casey about what the Titans like to do offensively, defensively, or do you have enough on tape where you really don't need to talk to him?
We've talked to him a little bit. But again, you know, from a defensive lineman standpoint, you know, he's probably not capable of giving you the ins and outs of coverages that they may be playing on the back end. He can help with, you know, what they do up front, what they're being taught to do, what they look for. And I know he's talked to our offensive coaches about that. And he's talked to the defensive linemen and outside backers about the offensive linemen that he knows from being there and from going against them.
Next up, Ernie Cristal.
Coach, there's reports out there that Isaiah Irving, who you coached in Chicago, may be in town to take COVID tests, perhaps work out, maybe join the practice squad. One, can you tell us if that's true? And two, can you tell us about him as a player?
Well, it's a possibility. You know, I think we're taking a look at a bunch of guys right now. And, you know, we'd have to create a spot on the practice squad for that to happen. And we'll see where it goes. He's been the fourth linebacker, outside linebacker in Chicago the past couple of years. Didn't make it this year. So, you know, I'm sure we're going to see where he's at physically and if he's a guy that we might consider.
Last one, Kyle Newman.
Vic, I know you said you've been pretty impressed with Jake Butt throughout camp and that, you know, you couldn't really tell that he's had all those knee surgeries. What are you looking for as the regular season started for him to kind of continue to progress and get back to where he was and contribute?
I think he's on the way to doing that. I think he's ready to play on Monday night in any role that we see fit for him. And he's a capable guy. He's capable of playing both tight end positions, both the wide tight end and the second tight end in the game. And I'm sure we'll use him, but he's been great. He hadn't had any issues physically. For a guy with his history to be moving around the way he is and never seeing anything affect him is a great story and a great comeback. And, you know, definitely kudos to him for that. I know he's worked hard and he's feeling the best he's ever felt in a long, long time.